am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
So I had asked you, what is research? You have been studying for last 2 weeks. So my simple according to you is research. Yes. So research means the systematic inquiry or investigation into a subject. Research का मतलब क्या है? When we are doing some systematic study, research is not a random phenomena. Nothing random is known as research. So किसी भी चीज की अगर हम कोई systematic और organized study कर रहे हैं to find solutions for some identified questions, that is known as research. So what according to you is the need for research? Research क्यों चाहिए हमें? Why research is required? Yes. Why we require research? Maheshwari? Beta, any one of you? Why
So,
we require research?
ma'am, we require resource so that we
Yes.
can have an effective learning. We can improve the quality of education. Whatever the problem is there, we will investigate, evaluate, and then find out the solutions.
You will investigate and then find out the solution. So whenever there is a problem, we try to find out the problem. So research, searching, it can be done again also. It is not that if we have found the once, right? That can be changed. So you
Ma'am, your voice
of
is
whatever problem.
interrupting. We are not having the smooth signal of your voice.
Okay. I'll just try to change my place. Chalo, just let me this. So, I have shared the PPT in the group itself because I am not able to the thing. So, beautiful quotation has been given by NEP as you can see in the first slide. National Education Policy has said that the pursuit of knowledge, wisdom, and truth was always considered in Indian and philosophy as the highest human goal. So you can see that NEP has given a lot of importance to the pursuit of knowledge, wisdom, and truth. So this is what is the basis of research. Research का जो basis है क्या है? Pursuit of knowledge, wisdom, and truth. So I have used this wording by NEP because today we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is ethics in research. So NEP के according, whenever you are in pursuit of knowledge and you should always have a truthful base or an ethical base. So the second slide is just about research, which we have already revised, that research is the diligent and systematic inquiry or investigation into a subject in order to discover facts or principles. So whenever generally we are doing research, हम research क्यों करते हैं? So that we can find out some new fact or some new principle which will add to the सोसाइटी. तो इसमें आपको मैं एक एग्जांपल देना चाहती हूँ कि आई थिंक द स्टूडेंट्स हु हैड अटेंडेड द ओरिएंटेशन इंडक्शन प्रोग्राम, they might have heard of it, that कि earlier we used to give a lot of importance to the intelligent quotient of the student, कि अगर एक बच्चे का IQ हाई है So that student will be very successful in his life. But now research has found out that more than IQ, EQ or the emotional quotient of the student is more important than the IQ. तो अगर हम research ना करते तो we could have always believed कि if a person is having a good IQ, he will be very successful at his वर्कप्लेस. लेकिन केस स्टडीज आईएएस ऑफिसर्स पे एक केस स्टडी हुई, उसमें दे फाउंड आउट कि जो आईएएस ऑफिसर्स का इमोशनल क्वोशंट हायर है, दे वर मोर सक्सेसफुल इन देयर जॉब्स एज कंपेयर टू द ऑफिसर्स who were low on their emotional quotient. So this again is due to research. So whatever we are doing, that should add to the society in a meaningful way. Another definition by Joseph M. Mogsley, who says that research refers to a systematic. तो ये मैंने आपको स्टार्टिंग में भी बोला है कि रिसर्च क्या है. इट शुड बी सिस्टमैटिक एंड ऑर्गेनाइज्ड. सिस्टमैटिक इन्वेस्टिगेशन कैरिड आउट टू डिस्कवर न्यू नॉलेज. ठीक है, रिसर्च का क्या काम है? नई नॉलेज को डिस्कवर करना, एक्सपैंड एग्जिस्टिंग नॉलेज. की नई नॉलेज तो हम ऐड करेंगे, लेकिन जो हमारी एग्जिस्टिंग नॉलेज है दैट टू कैन बी एक्सपेंडेड. सॉल्व प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम्स. कोई भी हमें प्रॉब्लम्स आ रही है दैट वी कैन सॉल्व एंड डेवलप न्यू प्रोडक्ट्स, एप्स एंड सर्विसेज. तो हैव यू हर्ड अबाउट एक्शन रिसर्च? आपने आपने टाइप्स ऑफ रिसर्च की होंगी. यस, एनीवन? एजुकेशन वालों ने तो पढ़ी होगी एक्शन रिसर्च. यस, महेश्वरी एंड नीतू, आई थिंक यू आर फ्रॉम एजुकेशन. व्हाट इज एक्शन रिसर्च?
मैम एक्शन रिसर्च,
एनीवन?
हेलो मैम, एक्शन रिसर्च इज बेसिकली जिसमें हम पहले आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं एक्शन को, देन उसका हम मतलब कि कैच करते हैं कि हाँ जी हमने उसके ऊपर क्या करना है, फिर इवेल्युएशन प्रोसेस होता है, फिर उसके बाद होता है अडोप्ट द रिजेक्शन, मतलब कि जो उसमें रिजेक्शन आई है वो क्यों आई है, देन उसके बाद फिर से उसको आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं. मे बी आई एम राइट?
और व्हाट इज हाउ इट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द अदर रिसर्च? नॉर्मल रिसर्च और फंडामेंटल रिसर्च में क्या फर्क है? सो जो एक्शन रिसर्च है और फंडामेंटल रिसर्च है, उसमें एक तो टाइम ड्यूरेशन का फर्क है. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल यू आर परस्यूइंग पीएचडी, तो यू विल बी टेकिंग 3 और 4 years. ठीक है, लेकिन एक्शन रिसर्च की एक मैं छोटी एग्जांपल देती हूँ. फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम इन अ क्लासरूम, राइट, एंड इन अ पर्टिकुलर क्लास, से माय इंग्लिश क्लास ओनली, जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं दे आर मेकिंग अ लॉट ऑफ नॉइज, राइट. सो अगर मैं बोलूंगी कि आई विल डू पीएचडी ऑन इट, तब तक वो स्टूडेंट्स दे विल पास आउट. ठीक है, उसके ऊपर आप फंडामेंटल रिसर्च नहीं कर सकते हो. सो एक्शन रिसर्च इज अ टाइप ऑफ रिसर्च विच टेक्स अ वेरी शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन ऑफ टाइम, और उसमें हम ज्यादा हाइपोथेसिस नहीं बनाते हैं. हम 3-4 वे आउट फाइंड करते हैं, एंड देन वी ट्राई टू इम्प्लीमेंट देम एंड सी इफ द प्रॉब्लम इज solved. So you must have studied about the different types of research. So research is not of one kind only. It can be fundamental, it can be action research and historical research. So this you will study in your other paper. So action research is finding a solution of problem. For example, if there is problem in my that is not present in neighbor's home. So जो action research की findings हैं, they are very localized. Like the example I gave you of a classroom. Classroom का जो solution है वो नवनीत मैम की क्लास में ही लग सकता है. It cannot be applied to some other class. But when you are doing fundamental research, which you will be doing in your PhD, the findings can be applied elsewhere also. So I hope I am clear in this. Then next we come to ethics. So what according to you is ethics? We have heard the word commonly ki we should follow ethics. What are ethics? Anyone? What is ethics?
मैम एथिक्स इज बेसिकली मोरल एंड प्रिंसिपल्स जो हम रिसर्च के लिए यूज करते हैं कि हाँ जी हमने कौन सी क्वालिटीज के साथ अपनी मतलब प्रॉपर रूल रेगुलेशन एथिक्स में आ जाते हैं जिससे हम अपनी रिसर्च करते हैं.
Right. So ethics refers to the rules or principles that define the right and wrong conduct. तो अगर हम जनरल लाइफ में बोले कि we man has made certain rules and regulations which define the daily life of man and they tell us what is right and wrong conduct. Like for example, stealing is considered as a wrong conduct, or if I am dishonest, that is a, a wrong conduct. So basically, ethics, it is derived from the Greek word ethos, which means character. ETHOS. I have missed that slide. So it is derived from the Greek word ethos, which means character, and from the Latin word mores, MORES, which means customs. So basically, ethics kya hai? It is a system of moral principles and a branch of philosophy. What is philosophy? Anyone? What is philosophy? Have you heard of the word philosophy?
मैम फिलोसफी इज बेसिकली जो फिलोसफर्स ने अपने न्यू न्यू प्रिंसिपल्स बनाए हैं थ्योरीज बनाई हैं मतलब कि उन्होंने अपनी थिंकिंग के अकॉर्डिंग जो फिलोसफीज हमें दी हैं उसे हम फिलोसफीज कहते हैं जो मतलब कि जो फेमस थिंकर्स ने जो
Or we can say कि believes about the
ठीक है.
meaning of life.
Making of life. So philosophy basically it means the love of wisdom. ठीक है. Wisdom को आप कितना how much you love wisdom, and as Maheshwari has said कि there are different schools of philosophy. Philosophy के different schools हुए हैं जैसे naturalism, pragmatism, idealism. तो सबकी अलग अलग thinking थी what life is, how the student should be taught. For example, the naturalists like Rousseau and Tagore, they believed that the child should not be kept in the four walls of the school. He should be left to the nature. ठीक है. तो Rousseau had said this much कि even if a child goes near a matchstick, do not stop him. Let the child burn his finger. He will learn a lesson. तो naturalist क्या propose करते थे? Natural way of living. Similarly, there were the idealists like Plato who believed in truth, beauty and goodness. उनके जो views थे वो idealistic थे. They were the pragmatists like John Dewey जो कहते थे बच्चे को practical work या project work दो. So जो philosophy है that is the love for wisdom. So जो ethics, we were discussing about ethics. So ethics is a system of moral principles and it is a branch of philosophy which defines what is good for individuals and society. तो हमारी society और individual के लिए जो भी चीज अच्छी होती है that is known as the ethics, right? So research ethics क्या होंगे फिर? This is ethics which we have discussed. So what will be research ethics then? Yes, anyone? So it is very simple. Research ethics क्या होंगे? Research ethics guide the researchers about the right and wrong in their research. So as I already told you, ethics in life means are good or bad conduct. और research ethics क्या हो जाएगा? Which guides the researchers about what is right and what is wrong during their research. So basically, research ethics they govern the standards of conduct for researchers. तो इसका फायदा क्या होगा रिसर्चर्स को? What do you think will be the advantage?
Maybe, ma'am, they
Yes,
are able to do their work systematically and more effectively.
they work systematically and effectively, and they will also and welfare पार्टिसिपेंट्स, जो लोग आपके रिसर्च में पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं, उनकी डिग्निटी, राइट, उनका प्रोटेक्ट करेंगे. सो इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट.
मैम
Right
प्रमोटिंग
now, I will
एक्यूरेसी
just give
एंड
an example. Yes, yes, Maheshwari, please carry
मैम
on.
प्रमोटिंग एक्यूरेसी एंड ऑनेस्टी.
Accuracy and honesty. So, if we move on to the next slide, it is why research ethics matters. So, research ethics ensures that the knowledge is produced honestly, the research participants are protected, and the scientific community and society can trust your results. So, first is that knowledge is produced honestly. So, I will take one example. For example, one researcher is doing some research on tribal people by sharing a questionnaire. So, they cannot go to all regions. So what they can do, they can ask somebody from the group or some friend of theirs to collect the data, and that data can be fabricated. वो हो सकता है the results. So then what will happen that the knowledge whatever you receive will not be accurate, and at times such type of data is used to make policies. कई बार जो गवर्नमेंट है वो भी रिसर्चर से डाटा कलेक्ट कराती है, एंड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट दे मेक पॉलिसीज फॉर द वेलफेयर ऑफ पीपल. जैसे मैंने आपको भी एक एग्जांपल दी है ट्राइबल की, है ना. तो अगर मैं उस डाटा को फैब्रिकेट कर रही हूँ या मैं उसको ऑनेस्टली नहीं प्रेजेंट कर रही हूँ, तो उसके बेसिस पे क्या होगा, द गवर्नमेंट विल मेक अ पॉलिसी एंड दैट पॉलिसी विल नॉट बी फ्रूटफुल फॉर द सोसाइटी. सो रिसर्च एथिक्स क्या इंश्योर करता है कि जो नॉलेज है वो ऑनेस्टली प्रोड्यूस हो सके. तो इन दिस केस two types of data manipulation can be done by people. One is fabrication. Fabrication क्या होता है, to make up the research data. ठीक है, मैं उसको फटाफट कहूँ कि yes I have done it. Second is the कि जो मेरा डाटा आ रहा है और व्हाट रिजल्ट्स आई वाज एक्सपेक्टिंग दे आर नॉट मैचिंग, तो मैं उसको मैनिपुलेट कर देती हूँ. कि जैसे हम, इफ यू रिमेम्बर, आई डोंट नो हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू आर साइंस स्टूडेंट, व्हेन इन ग्रेजुएशन वी यूज टू डू टाइट्रेशन, इफ यू रिमेम्बर, और हमारे रिजल्ट्स नहीं आते थे, कलर चेंज नहीं होता था, तो हम एक आधा ड्रॉप इधर उधर कर देते थे ताकि जो हमारे रिजल्ट्स हैं उसमें consistency aa jaye. So that is falsification. In order to get the desired data, I might change my images or my result. So research ethics क्या ensure करता है कि जो भी knowledge है that is produced honestly, the research participants are protected. Research participants are protected means whenever you are doing research, whenever you are doing a survey, you have to tell the participants, even if they are school students, कि yes, I am going to take this data and this data is being used for this purpose. So it is the right of the participant to know why you are taking the data, right? And it is your moral duty to ensure that the data is not shared with anyone. And the last is that the scientific community and society can trust your results. So that can be trusted only if you are doing the research. तो अगर आप शॉर्टकट्स ले रहे हो तो उससे क्या है, क्रेडिबिलिटी खत्म हो जाएगी और आपका एकेडमिक करियर खत्म हो जाएगा. लेकिन इफ यू आर डूइंग एथिकल रिसर्च, दिस विल हेल्प यू ब्रिंग अ स्ट्रॉन्ग स्कॉलरली आइडेंटिटी. सो this is the use of ethics. Now, what are the core principles of research ethics? First one is honesty. So, as I have already shared that you should be truthful in all aspects of research. So, these steps you will be studying when we teach you how to write a research proposal. तो जो भी आपके aspects हैं research के, that can be related to data collection, data analysis, how you are reporting it, and how you are and also the publication maybe at times what we do, we pay to somebody to write a research paper for us, so that also goes against the ethics. तो core principle क्या है कि honest होना चाहिए, and what is the example, do not hide contradictory result just to strengthen your hypothesis. For example, मैंने कोई भी hypothesis बनाया है, IQ of गर्ल्स इज मोर देन IQ ऑफ बॉयज, पर जब मैंने डाटा कलेक्ट किया, मैंने डाटा एनालाइज किया, तो मेरे जो रिजल्ट्स हैं वो कॉन्ट्रडिक्टरी आ रहे हैं. तो आई विल नॉट ट्राई टू हाइड द रिजल्ट, बट आई विल ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट द रीजन कि जो हाइपोथेसिस बनाया है या टेंटेटिव सॉल्यूशन बनाई है, रिजल्ट्स उसके कॉन्ट्रडिक्टरी क्यों आ रहे हैं. ठीक है. सो फर्स्ट इज द ऑनेस्टी. Second is the integrity, consistency in your actions even when unsupervised. Unsupervised क्या है कि अगर आपका गाइड आपको guide can't be with you all the time, or if you are doing lab work also you have to do it alone at times. तो इसमें क्या है कि अगर आपको कोई देख नहीं रहा है, still then there should be consistency in your procedures. So example is maintaining proper records, following protocols and not altering experimental conditions secretly. उसकी मैंने आपको पहले एक एग्जांपल दी थी कि जैसे टाइट्रेशंस में फिनोफ्थलीन के साथ हम करते थे, just to bring pink color we used to add 1 drop here and there, so when the teacher was not there, so that is wrong, that is not integrity. Third one is objectivity. So what is the difference between objectivity and subjectivity? Yes? Anyone? In general life, we use both the terms. So what is the difference between the two?
Objectivity means concise, short. Subjectivity means maybe in detail information.
Okay. So objectivity and subjectivity, I will just give you a simple example. For example, if a teacher gives you questions to answer, तो objective questions में क्या है? If I am getting 4 in objective question paper, by if teacher A is evaluating and if teacher B is evaluating, then also I will get 4 out of 10 only. That is objectivity. There is clarity. Teacher 10 check कर लेंगे, then also I will get 4 out of 10 only. लेकिन subjectivity में क्या है? I am writing one answer. One teacher gives me 8 out of 10. One may give me 7. One may give me 7.5. है ना? कोई बोलेगा कि I have cut marks for writing or I don't like the matter in which she has written. तो subjectivity में क्या आ गया? Bias आ गया. Bias means it depends upon the person who is evaluating your paper. It depends upon my mood as well. अगर मैं एक objective question paper check कर रही हूँ, if you're getting 4, I have to give you 4. But if I am with somebody or I am and you deserve 8 marks, I might give you 6.5 or 7 because it depends upon me. So in research, you have to ensure that it is objectivity which you follow and not subjectivity. So in this, the first is that avoid bias. Bias मतलब कि जैसे हम कई बार कहते हैं कि ये टीचर biased है, इस टीचर के ये favorites हैं. So that is biasness. So you have to avoid bias in designing experiments, interpreting data और selecting participants. कि ये तो चलो मेरे friends हैं, तो मैं इनसे questions या questionnaire बढ़वा लेती हूँ. So this you don't have to do. So then example is using random sampling rather than hand-picking participants who support your expected outcome. So random sampling you might have heard. What is random? Yes, random sampling क्या होती है? Anyone? So random means that all the participants have an equal chance of being selected. For example, there are 100 participants and I have to select 40. So out of 100, all the 40 have an equal chance. इसका क्या क्राइटेरिया है कि जैसे मैं 1 to 100 तक यू कैन राइट ऑन स्लिप्स एंड पुट देम इन अ बास्केट, और उसमें से जो फर्स्ट 40 निकलेंगे दैट विल बी योर सैंपल, राइट? सो दैट इज रैंडम सैम्पलिंग। और अगर हमने ऑब्जेक्टिविटी नहीं रखनी तो 100 में से जो 40 मेरे फ्रेंड्स होंगे, मैं उनको बोलूंगी कि यस प्लीज यू बी माय सैंपल, सो दैट अगेन इज एथिकली wrong. So whenever you have to do research, you have to be very objective. आप में कोई biasness और favoritism नहीं होना चाहिए. Next is transparency. So transparency means that whatever methods, whatever sources of data and conflicts of interest is there, that should be clearly disclosed. मतलब whenever you are doing a research and you are involving human subjects in it, you should tell them everything. Like for example, if I am doing on job satisfaction, है ना, in a workplace, तो वो लोग डर के मेरा डाटा भरेंगे कि ये हमारी बॉस को ना बता दे कि वी आर नॉट satisfied. तो whatever you are doing, everything should be clear to the participants. And then next is your responsibility towards the participants. So when you are dealing with humans or animals, informed consent, matlab of animals of course you can't take, but whoever is their caretaker, you have to tell them that you are going to do this experiment on them. Then it should be confidential. Like I gave you an example, if you are doing on, for example, job satisfaction, or you are doing on stress level of adolescents, they should be aware of it, and you should ensure them that their identity will not be disclosed. Right to withdraw, like if they want ki we don't want to be a part of their research, it is their right. You cannot force anyone to be a part of your research system. And minimization of harm to anyone, right? So these were the core principles of research ethics. And now we come. Next is the common forms of research misconduct. So fabrication, I already told you when we were discussing about honesty. Fabrication means that making up of data or results. कि मेरे पास इतना टाइम नहीं है, मैंने 100 पार्टिसिपेंट्स का रिसर्च करना था, बट आई टुक 50 और मैंने 50 के अपने आप टिक 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 लगा दिए हैं. सो दैट इज मेकिंग अप ऑफ डाटा और रिजल्ट्स की एग्जांपल जैसे मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दी थी कि आईक्यू फॉर एग्जांपल ऑफ गर्ल्स और बॉयज इज मोर देन द ऑपोजिट जेंडर, और नहीं है तो मैं उसमें चेंजेस कर दूं कि जो भी मैंने शुरू में हाइपोथेसिस दिया है उसके अकॉर्डिंग मेरा रिजल्ट आ जाए. दैट इज मेकिंग अप ऑफ द result. So example is inventing survey responses to complete your sample size. So this I have already told you. Then second is falsification. Falsification is manipulating research materials, equipment or data. Example is adjusting images or graphs to exaggerate significance. कि जैसे for example हमने कोई ग्राफ दिखाया है कि this is the significance of my result, और मुझे लग रहा है कि इसमें significance कम दिख रही है, तो मैं जो image है उसको थोड़ा change कर दूं कि I have done very good work. So that is falsification. Then next is plagiarism. Plagiarism, you all must be knowing that copying someone else's works without proper attribution. कि मैं किसी और का आइडिया है लेकिन मैंने उसको यूज कर दिया and I am not mentioning in my research. So that is known as plagiarism. And nowadays you must have heard that there are different tools to check your plagiarism before you submit your final thesis. So do you know about some such tool for checking plagiarism? Anyone?
No, ma'am.
Hmm. So plagiarism के
Yes, I
tool हैं
think.
जैसे उर्कुंड.
Hello.
Yes, Bhavna?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. I think it's done written,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, and one is Urkund also. So
Yes,
that
ma'am.
is of UGC, right? So before
Yes,
you
yes.
submit your final PhD thesis, your thesis that has to be put into that software and it will generate a report of plagiarism. So if you have copied work from others, the thesis will be rejected and that report has to be attached along with your thesis. So once you start your PhD work, you have to be very careful that at times what we do, we copy data from somewhere and we do not write the source from where we have taken the data. So that is whenever you are picking up information, some definition or some result from somewhere, just ensure that you are also picking up the source from where you have taken up that data, right? So that is using someone else's work, and then it includes self plagiarism also. Self plagiarism means reusing your own published text without disclosure, means I am using the same paper in different journals. That again is self plagiarism and that should be avoided. Then the next is improper authorship. So this is very common. Adding names of people who didn't contribute or excluding those who did. So this is very common that we do. Uh, Especially at times the supervisors also, what they do is that when a student has written a research paper, even if they have not contributed, they say that their name may be added or of their some of their colleagues may be added. So that should not be done. That is improper authorship. So the consent of the research scholar should be taken by the supervisor while adding the name, and the scholar should also not add names of people who have not contributed anything or exclude name. ये नहीं है कि आपके साथ किसी ने काम कराया है तो you are not mentioning the name. So adding name of people who did not do anything or excluding names of people who helped you, both they lead to improper authorship. So you should be very careful whatever you are using in your thesis, right? And then one thing also which I want you to see is that whenever you are writing the authorship also, you should be very careful of how you are mentioning the details. I will just give you an example over here that uh, what is the difference between mediation and meditation? Anyone? Mediation and meditation. Meditate करना क्या होता है? Yes. Mediation. What is meditation?
Ma'am, it's the
अपना मन
focusing
शांत
of mind or concentration upon something.
Yes. Okay. Kulvinder also wanted to say something.
यही कहना था मन को शांत करना
Yes, very good. तो meditation क्या है? मन को शांत करना, right? At times we say कि मुझे 2-3 मिनट meditate करना है. और mediation क्या होता है? Mediation.
मैम
mediation
M.
इस कन्वर्सेशन
किसी
हाँ
के
जी.
माध्यम के थ्रू करना
वेरी गुड. तो मेडिटेशन और मीडिएशन दोनों में फर्क है, राइट? सो एक एग्जांपल है कि देयर इज मेडिटेशन. एक मेंशन well forward and what holds to path what leads to wisdom. तो इस कोट में क्या था कि जो ऑथर है उसने मेडिटेशन की जगह मीडिएशन यूज कर लिया, लेकिन जो स्टूडेंट रिसर्च कर रहा था उसने एज इट इज इस कोट को जो है वो पेस्ट कर दिया विदाउट सीइंग द डिफरेंस दैट देयर वाज अ spelling mistake. So this is what I want to bring in your knowledge, that whenever you are picking up some quote from something, you should be very careful कि आप right meditation के मीनिंग में बहुत फर्क है. बुद्धा Please switch off, put yourself on mute. किसी का mic on है, please put yourself on mute. So next is the poor data management. Poor data management, improper authorship. Sorry. Next is ethical treatment of human participant. So whenever your research involves people, you should provide a clear explanation of the study, ki why you are making this study, obtain the informed consent in writing, and protect personal data through anonymization. So you don't have to mention ki yes, I have worked on Kulvinder or I have worked on Nitu or Maheshwari or Bhavna. So the names have to be kept anonymous whenever you are doing research. Plus you have to tell them why you are doing the research, right? Then next is ethical use of AI and digital as AI tools become more and more common. So we all know that artificial intelligence is the need of the hour today, and ethics doesn't say that we cannot make use of AI. We should ensure that they are just used as an assistant and not as authors. So these days, you might have seen that all of us, including me also, earlier we used to write things and exercise our brain, but now what we do, we just put the application or whatever we want to write on chat gpt and we get the answer. And as a result, what we are doing, that our vocabulary and usage of words has reduced a lot. So just remember that AI should be your assistant, it should not be used as your author, and they are not used to generate fake data. You should not be generating fake data with AI, right? Then next is the publication ethics. So first is avoid predatory journals. So what are predatory journals? Anyone? Predatory journals, you might have heard of journals which publish your papers just by taking money. So a good journal is the one who provides peer review. Peer review means generally there is blind peer review. It means that once you submit your paper, a committee is made by the journal, which is known as the peer review committee. So all the members, for example, 3 or 4 members, your paper is given to them by hiding your identity, and they are asked to give their feedback on certain parameters. So whatever suggestions they give, you are asked to incorporate those suggestions in your paper. So that is a good journal which is peer reviewed. Predatory journals are those which do not send your paper for peer review. They just charge money from you and your paper is published without checking the credibility or the usage of your paper. So just try to avoid those journals. Then choose credible peer reviewed journals. And then, as I already told you, that do not duplicate your submission. Whenever you have submitted your research to one journal, just by changing a few words or putting things here and there, do not duplicate your submission, right? Then you should acknowledge your funding and contributions. So if you are getting grants, like if you have a good research project, you get grants from different body. ICSSR also gives grants in various projects. So do not forget to mention those grants or your mentorship and collaborative efforts. At times, people collaborate with you for your research work. So whenever you are writing that in your acknowledgement, when you write your acknowledgement in the beginning, do write and mention those people. Then sharing data responsibility, that open access repositories. That line is missing. I will just tell you like that. that you should use open access repositories. So what are these? They are free online digital archives. तो कुछ फ्री जो ऑनलाइन आर्कीव्स हैं या स्टोरेज जो है डाटा स्टोर करते हैं, यू शुड यूज दोज फॉलोइंग देयर privacy rules. Then the ethical collaboration, respect colleagues' contributions. So this already we have discussed that whatever contribution anyone is doing, you should respect that and share your credit fairly. You should maintain professional conduct in labs, fieldwork, and conferences. For example, if a junior colleague helped you with coding data, you should acknowledge them. Then how to deal with ethical dilemmas. Dilemma क्या होता है? What is ethical dilemma?
Dilemma, confusion.
Very good. So ethical dilemma is a confusion कि जैसे you are at a crossroad, you don't know which side to go. So at times you will also face with ethical dilemmas. So whenever you are in doubt, first of all, you should consult your supervisor that what you should do. And then there is a ethics committee of the university that I had shown you the constitution of the ethics committee of also. So you can approach the ethical committee that what at this step what should I do, and then you can refer to the discipline specific, especially when it is related to allied health sciences or some other subjects where human beings are used. You can use the ethical guidelines which have been given for that particular discipline. Then document every decision, whatever the committee suggests or whatever decision has been taken, that should be documented. And last is the role of PhD student. So what is your role? Now you have chosen a very good profession which shows that you have a knack for going ahead in your life. You have chosen research. So as emerging scholars, you should uphold the highest ethical standards, question suspicious practices. So not only you, but if you feel somebody else is doing something so a culture of integrity, and you should also serve as ethical role models for the future researchers. So that is all about ethics in research. So I have given one case study and some related questions. So you can just quickly go through it. So a PhD student is conducting a survey on workplace satisfaction after weeks of poor response rates. The supervisor pressures the student to just complete the data sheet because the deadlines are approaching. The student fabricates 30% of the responses to reach the required sample size. The data looks clean and the supervisor is pleased. The paper is close to submission. So this is a case study कि एक स्टूडेंट ने सर्वे किया है बट उसने क्या देखा वर्क प्लेस सेटिस्फैक्शन पे तो डाटा रिस्पॉन्स वाज वेरी पुअर और सुपरवाइजर ने क्या बोला कि भाई हमारे पास तो अब टाइम खत्म हो रहा है आप इसको फटाफट खत्म करो ठीक है तो 100 में से 30% रिस्पॉन्सेज जो थे स्टूडेंट ने फैब्रिकेट कर लिए सो नाउ द क्वेश्चंस आर फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज द स्टूडेंट द सुपरवाइजर और बोथ रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर मिसकंडक्ट यस बोलो yes this is very simple
I think, ma'am, only student is responsible because it's his data and it's his responsibility to have the credibility of his data.
okay good so according to Neetu only the student is responsible he should have had enough ethical principles in his mind before fabricating the data anyone with another view yes
Ma'am, I think both.
why Maheshwari why both
मैम बिकॉज अगर तो मतलब कि जो गाइड है उन्होंने टाइमली उनको प्रॉपर गाइड किया है और स्टूडेंट ने टाइम पे चीज नहीं की तो अकेला स्टूडेंट है जो वो रिस्पॉन्सिबल है। अगर टाइमली गाइड की ओर से भी और स्टूडेंट की ओर से भी चीजों में पेंडेंसी है तो दोनों ही रिस्पॉन्सिबल है
Okay.
इस चीज को लेकर।
Anyone else बेटा wants to share something? So इस केस में हम क्या कह सकते हैं, स्टूडेंट भी रिस्पॉन्सिबल है बिकॉज उसने डाटा जो है वो फैब्रिकेट किया विच शोज हिज मिसकंडक्ट, एंड जो सुपरवाइजर है ही इज ऑल्सो रिस्पॉन्सिबल कि उस अनएथिकल प्रेशर क्रिएट किया स्टूडेंट पे कि वी आर रनिंग शॉर्ट ऑफ टाइम सो यू कंक्लूड योर स्टडी। ठीक है, सेकेंड क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट कुड द स्टूडेंट हैव डन इंस्टेड ऑफ फैब्रिकेटिंग डाटा? यस,
Can ask for more time,
वेरी
or
गुड, वेरी गुड, यस, he can ask for more time, or he could have communicated honestly about his results कि मेरे ये results आए हैं, और उसको justify करने की या discussion देने की कोशिश करनी थी कि ये results क्यों आए हैं, right? And then he could have also discussed with the ethical committee, जैसे हमने पहले बोला कि in case of a dilemma you can discuss with the ethical committee also. Then third is how can departments reduce
by having proper timelines. If proper
very
timelines is there, तो definitely.
ठीक है, right? So proper timelines should be there, and we should also encourage quality over quantity. So there is another list you your assignment, subjects and consent, right? The discussion questions are given below, and I will also be sharing one assignment in the group. So today is 6th, so by 16th you have to submit your assignments. I will share the email ID with you, and you can keep the copy with yourself, and whenever you visit the university you have to submit that assignment. And whenever you are making assignments, do keep certain things in mind, that you have to give an introduction, you have to make, the main body has to be given, if some principles have to be shared, that have to be given, you have to conclude, and in the end don't forget to mention the references. So now you are doing a PhD degree, it is mandatory that you mention the references from whatever source you have taken the assignment, you have done the question. So whatever assignment I will be sharing with you, that will cover this topic only, and the PPT will be helpful for you. So any other thing which you want to ask, you can ask. So I will be sharing the assignment in 5 or 10 minutes, right? So one is the case study question, case study 2, which I have given you. You just have to answer the question and I will also be mentioning the criteria by which I will be grading your assignments. Is it okay? Right? And just one more thing I want, that in the group itself, please write your name and the subject in which you are pursuing PhD for your today's attendance. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.